Plymouth reaching just 2 degrees Celsius this afternoon, whilst Aberdeen sits at a relatively balmy 7 degrees. Yes, you heard that correctly. The southwest colder than the northeast of Scotland. Is your area about to experience the most dramatic temperature swing we've seen this winter? Right now, the Met Office has yellow warnings active across 17 counties affecting nearly 12 million people, with flooding concerns intensifying across Somerset, Gloucestershire and Kent. Over the next 12 minutes, I'll break down exactly when conditions change in your specific location, which models are showing concerning differences for the weekend, and why tomorrow's forecast update will be absolutely crucial for your plans. Drop your city or county in the comments right now, and I'll include personalized forecasts in tomorrow's video. Let me get straight to the timings you need. London, rain clearing around 11 o'clock tonight, dry tomorrow morning before another band arrives Friday evening. Manchester, rain until Thursday morning, brief respite tomorrow afternoon, then heavier precipitation returns Friday. Birmingham, Friday rain arrives 3 hours earlier, around 3 o'clock. Glasgow, currently 6 degrees, staying mild through tomorrow, sharp drop to 2 degrees Friday morning. Cardiff, rain eases overnight, mostly dry tomorrow, blustery showers return Friday afternoon. Belfast, dry spells tomorrow, temperatures holding at 8 degrees through the week. Now here's what makes this forecast particularly interesting. The Met Office Unified Model and the European model are showing a significant divergence for Saturday's system, and this 50-kilometre difference changes everything for the southeast. But I'll come back to that specific detail at the 7-minute mark because there is something developing that needs explaining first. Let me walk you through what's actually happening meteorologically. We've got a deep Atlantic low-pressure system that has been dominating our weather for the past 72 hours. The center of this low is currently positioned west of Ireland, and it's drawing moisture directly from the subtropics. That's why we're re-seeing these unusually high rainfall totals. The pressure gradient between this low and a high-pressure system over Scandinavia is creating strong westerly winds, gusting to 70 kilometers per hour across exposed coastal areas. Dover, Plymouth, and Blackpool have all recorded gusts exceeding 65 kilometers per hour since midnight. The isobars are tightly packed, which tells us the wind isn't going anywhere quickly. For those of you in Newcastle, Scarborough, and along the northeast coast, the winds are actually wrapping around from the north by tomorrow, bringing a distinct chill despite the temperatures not dropping dramatically on paper. It's that feels like temperature that matters. Edinburgh, even at 7 degrees, you'll feel closer to 3 degrees with the wind chill tomorrow afternoon. Right, let me address the flooding situation directly. Somerset has received 132 millimetres of rain in the past 48 hours, nearly a month's worth in 2 days. The River Parrett is at capacity, yellow warnings extended through Friday morning. Gloucestershire sitting at 108 millimetres, the Severn rising. Kent, particularly around Maidstone and Canterbury, drainage systems struggling with 94 millimetres since Sunday evening. Some localised areas near Taunton have seen closer to 150 millimetres. The concern isn't just the rainfall we've had, it's the saturated ground. There's simply nowhere for additional water to go. Bristol, Oxford and Cambridge have seen 60 to 70 millimetres. Leicester and Nottingham around 80 millimetres each. The Midlands generally wetter than forecast, and that brings me to an important point about model accuracy. Here's where it gets interesting with the forecast models. The Met Office model has consistently been showing this low pressure moving away faster than it actually has. The European model, the ECMWF, has been more accurate with the timing, keeping the rain with us longer. This matters enormously for your plans because the same divergence is showing up in the weekend forecast. The Met Office model currently shows high pressure building from the southwest Saturday afternoon, bringing dry conditions to Southampton, Brighton, and Bournemouth by early evening. But the European model keeps cloud and scattered showers across the south until Sunday morning. That is a 12-hour difference in when conditions improve. For those of you planning weekend activities across the southeast, tomorrow's model runs will hopefully converge. If they don't, I'll explain what to look for in terms of real-time observations to know which solution is verifying. Do check back tomorrow because this uncertainty will likely resolve overnight. Now, the one thing that concerns me most isn't actually the rain. It is what happens next week when we get the temperature drop. Leeds, Sheffield, and York. Pay attention here. The latest GFS model shows Arctic maritime air arriving Tuesday night. Temperatures across Yorkshire could drop to -2 degrees by Wednesday morning, and with moisture still in the atmosphere, we could see significant snowfall. The 1200 hours GFS run shows temperatures at 950 hectopascals, dropping to -8 degrees over northern England by Wednesday. Manchester, Liverpool, and Leeds could see 10 to 15 centimetres if this verifies, but the Met Office ensemble still shows warmer solutions. We are 5 days out. Uncertainty is high. For Inverness, Aberdeen and the Scottish Highlands, if this Arctic outbreak happens as aggressively as the GFS suggests, we're relooking at -6 degrees and 20 to 30 centimetres of snow across higher ground. The Cairngorms could see 50 centimetres. Let me pivot back to the more immediate forecast. Exeter, Penzance and Cornwall. Generally, your rain continues through tonight but eases considerably tomorrow morning. By tomorrow afternoon, sunny spells developing. Temperatures around 9 degrees, feeling pleasant in any sunshine between the showers. The southwest actually gets the best of Thursday weather, with Truro and Falmouth seeing decent conditions by midday. Wales splits quite distinctly. Swansea and Bangor see improving conditions tomorrow afternoon, though Cardiff keeps cloudier skies as mentioned earlier. The Brecon Beacons could see some brightness tomorrow, temperatures around 6 degrees at lower levels, near freezing above 400 metres. Aberystwyth and the West Wales coast face blustery conditions through Friday. Northern Ireland maintains relatively settled conditions compared to the rest of the UK. Belfast and Derry 8 degrees tomorrow, mostly dry, some sunny intervals. Friday brings more cloud and a few showers, but nothing particularly heavy. Londonderry specifically sees the driest conditions through the week. You are in the better position, without question. Scotland forecast splits quite distinctly. The Central Belt, Glasgow and Edinburgh stays mild and mostly cloudy through Friday. Saturday sees some brightness developing. But the Highlands and northeast Scotland are in a different air mass entirely. Inverness drops to 4 degrees by Friday, Aberdeen down to 3 degrees. The temperature gradient across Scotland will be quite remarkable. Nearly 5 degrees difference between Glasgow and Inverness, despite being just 220 kilometres apart. Dundee and Perth sit in the transition zone, around 5 degrees. The Channel Islands, Jersey and Guernsey will see some of the driest conditions in the UK over the next few days. Rain clears tonight, then mostly dry through the weekend. Temperatures mild at 11 to 12 degrees. The Isle of Wight follows a similar pattern, though with a bit more cloud lingering. Portsmouth and Southampton benefit from this southern position as well. Now let me address something relevant from previous videos. Yes, with all this rain, there will still likely be hosepipe bans come summer. I know that seems absurd, but reservoir capacity and water table recovery takes time. This week's rainfall helps, genuinely, but reversing months of deficit requires sustained wet weather over months, not days. The water companies are monitoring levels closely, but we do need another month of above-average rainfall to make a significant impact on reservoir stocks. It is frustrating, I completely understand that perspective, but the infrastructure and hydrology don't respond as quickly as we like. There's one location that could see something quite unexpected this Friday evening. Norwich and the Norfolk coast might experience what S called a Foehn effect as winds cross the Pennines. This could briefly push temperatures up to 13 degrees Friday afternoon before dropping sharply Friday night. It's a narrow window, highly localised, but if you are in Great Yarmouth or King's Lynn, you might notice this warmth seems out of place given what is happening elsewhere. Ipswich and Colchester could catch the edge of this as well. The Foehn effect occurs when air descends from high ground, compresses, and warms. It is the same phenomenon that brings those surprisingly warm days to parts of Scotland when westerly winds cross the Highlands. Let me take you through some regional forecasts. The southeast, Guildford, Reading and Slough see rain easing tomorrow morning, dry afternoon, then rain returns Friday evening around 6 o'clock. Heathrow, Friday evening delays possible with low cloud and rain affecting visibility. Saturday morning improves significantly. The northwest, Blackpool, Preston and Lancaster face persistent rain through Thursday morning, then an improved afternoon. Friday's rain is heavier, 15 to 20 millimetres expected Friday evening. Liverpool and the Wirral see similar totals. The Irish Sea quite rough through Friday. Ferry services may face disruption. Yorkshire, Bradford, Halifax and Huddersfield sit right in the zone where next week's snow could be heaviest if the cold outbreak verifies. This week, rain through Thursday morning, brief drier spell, then showers Friday. Temperatures around 6 degrees, feeling cold in the wind. The northeast, Sunderland, Middlesbrough and Durham all face those northerly winds tomorrow. Rain clears Thursday morning, scattered showers through Friday. Temperatures 7 degrees, but feeling like 3 degrees in the wind. Right, here's that model comparison I promised you at the 7-minute mark. Saturday's system is where the Met Office and European models disagree most substantially. The Met Office shows high pressure building strongly from the southwest, giving Kent, Sussex, Surrey and Hampshire dry conditions Saturday afternoon onwards. Clear skies, light winds, temperatures around 8 degrees. Pleasant February weather. The European model shows the high pressure building more slowly. It keeps cloud across the same areas through Saturday, with scattered showers possible. Dry conditions don't arrive until Sunday morning. For London specifically, this is the difference between decent Saturday afternoon or waiting until Sunday. The models have been converging slowly, and I suspect tomorrow S runs will give us a clearer picture. This uncertainty is precisely why checking back tomorrow matters so much. The situation is genuinely evolving. If there is one thing to take away from this forecast, it's this. We are in a transitional pattern. This wet, mild Atlantic-dominated weather is breaking down. What replaces it depends on whether high pressure builds from the west, keeping us mild and settled, or whether that Arctic air I mentioned pushes south, bringing genuinely cold conditions and potential snow. The 48-hour forecast is solid and reliable. The weekend forecast has that southeast uncertainty I've outlined with the model differences. The next week forecast is genuinely uncertain with two very different scenarios possible. We're rewatching it closely, and the models should start converging over the next 24 hours. The models overnight tonight will be crucial. The 0000 hours runs from the Met Office, GFS, and ECMWF will all be processed by morning. I'll have that analysis ready for tomorrow S update, including specific snow probability maps if the cold outbreak looks more likely. The differences between models aren't trivial, they represent fundamentally different weather patterns. So tomorrow S update really does matter for planning. For those who've dropped your location in the comments, I'll incorporate your areas into tomorrow S video. The Shetland Islands are looking at strong winds through Friday, gales possible, 8 degrees, frequent showers. Orkney similar but slightly less windy. The Outer Hebrides see rain clearing Thursday, then blustery showers Friday and Saturday. The Scilly Isles will see 12 degrees through the weekend, mostly dry Friday and Saturday. The Pennines above 500 metres could see sleet Friday afternoon mixing with rain, not settling significantly, but conditions will be unpleasant with low cloud and poor visibility. I know this isn't ideal for many, particularly those dealing with flooding or disrupted travel. The rainfall totals this week have been exceptional. River levels remain high, ground saturation is at capacity. The Environment Agency continues monitoring, flood warnings remain in place across Somerset, Gloucestershire, Kent, and parts of Devon. Please check their website for specific local updates as conditions can change quickly. Looking at the records, this ranks as one of the wettest first weeks of February across the southwest since 1995. Some weather stations in Somerset have recorded their highest February totals on record for this early in the month. Let me just clarify the weekend forecast once more because I want to be clear on the uncertainty. Saturday across Scotland, Northern Ireland, Wales, southwest England and the northwest looks generally decent. Dry conditions, some sunny spells, temperatures 7 to 9 degrees. It's the southeast, East Anglia and East Midlands where that model uncertainty exists. Either dry and bright Saturday afternoon or staying cloudy with showers until Sunday morning. 40 to 50 kilometres makes all the difference in where that improving weather arrives. Tomorrow we'll clarify this and I'll give you definitive timings once the models converge. Sunday looks better across the board. High pressure should be established by then, whichever model solution verifies. Dry conditions, sunny spells, light winds. Temperatures around 8 to 10 degrees across England and Wales, 6 to 8 degrees across Scotland. A pleasant February day after quite a wet week. Newcastle, Hull, and the East Coast should see particularly nice conditions Sunday afternoon. Perfect for getting outdoors after being stuck inside. And then we re-watching that potential cold outbreak for next week. Monday still looks reasonable. Temperatures around 7 to 9 degrees, mostly dry. Tuesday is when things might change with that Arctic air pushing south. Wednesday through Friday next week could see genuinely cold conditions, if the GFS model is correct, with snow possible for many areas, particularly northern England and Scotland. Or we might stay milder if the Met Office ensemble is right, staying around 6 to 8 degrees with rain rather than snow. It's genuinely too early to call with confidence. But the signals are there for a significant pattern change, right? For tomorrow S forecast update, I'll have the latest model runs analysed, that southeast uncertainty resolved, and updated snow probabilities for next week. I'll also cover your specific locations from the comments. I appreciate you watching this detailed breakdown. Weather forecasting involves uncertainty beyond 3 days, and I'd rather be honest about what we know than give false confidence. The situation is evolving and overnight model runs will tell us a lot. If I haven't covered your area, drop it in the comments. Tomorrow's update will be ready by 9 o'clock in the morning. Until then, stay dry if you can, and I'll see you tomorrow with a clearer picture for the weekend and next week.